Fishnets torn, I don't even care. Pulse to the whisper, pull them shorts to the side, slide in slow moonlight, hitting spots only night gon' know. Claws on your chest, nails leave a trail. Howl at the moon while you split that tail. Bass slaps harder, heartbeat sync with the kick drum boom. Daddy, make me transform in this room. Boom boom, in the moonlight, down this pussy till the wolves take flight. Boom boom, feel the fever rise, fuck me till the moon burns out the sky. Boom boom, in the moonlight, kitty all dripping on the vinyl seat tonight. Leather seats, sticky windows, spark tight. Your tongue on my cut like a satellite. You turn a werewolf, growling deep. Every Thursday, the full moon wave. Scratch marks on the dash, come on the wheel. Moonlight bathing us, making it real. Like boom, give me that boom, backbeat, hood trunk, everywhere we roll. Moon watching us like a big silver dome. Hand me over the hood, make the chassis shake. Squirt on the chrome till the night can't take. Howl so loud, the stars start to fall. Eddie agreed this world till we done it all. Boom, boom, in the moonlight. Round this pussy till the sunrise. Boom, boom, make the heavens scream. Fuck me till the moon turns to cream. Boom, boom, in the moonlight. Kitty howling forever on the night. Still dripping. You watching? Still out. One more boom. I don't know if you can see this, but there is a small dog that's scurrying in the yard in front here. Possibly two small dogs. Well, I saw a delivery maybe yesterday of a Walmart delivery truck that I guess delivery carry agent, he had a huge bag of maybe 50 pounds of pet food. He had it over his shoulder and he carried it out of the truck into the over that area where those dogs are. I don't know if that's their pet food, but I definitely don't want to watch those animals. That yard should be empty. And all these cars should be parked. I don't want to run traffic because I don't want to be bitten by a dog. Why didn't the delivery agent pick up the dogs and keep them and feed the pet food himself? Because it's his pet food and he just gave it to those people or to those dogs to have the pet food. The dogs didn't call him, I know that. Well, who told him where the dogs were? Somebody there wants to feed their dog's pet food. Why can't you do that wherever the pet food is? Take the dog to the pet food. I don't want to watch you feeding animals in public. I've already been punished for that by you.
So who's using the soul's money to pay for animal feed, pet food? You want to feed animals, and animals in the house, animals in a barn, animals in a stall, animals in a petting zoo, animals in the zoo. You want to use the soul's money, all the food money I need to pay you people so I can have what I want for myself, what I eat. And you're using all the leverage to feed animals. And they all have names. And they're not human. They have snouts or beaks. The temperature reading on the cell phone is something like forecasted to be um, between 55 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit. And I've been seated right here with the sunlight on myself. And it's warm enough for me to sit here. So it doesn't feel like cold, like 50 something degrees where you wouldn't sit in the cold. I'm comfortable here. Uh, but I do want the weather to be about whatever the daytime temperature is. I think that should be the nighttime temperature. And then during the day, it should be warm. I'm thinking like 80 degrees. But I'm fine this way too. If it says between 55 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm comfortable right here in the sun. But I would not be out in the cold. Go figure. Well, you people are affecting the weather. I don't need the weather. I can make it whatever I want, but it's homeless to know you. You don't know who I am. You don't know why I say things. I was just wondering if, just in case, I am God to God. Well, I'm not God to yourself. How are you going to pay for that? I'm not God to yourself, but I'm God to God. You're not God to myself that way. And it's just you. You are that way to God, and I agree with God that way. And you're elsewheres, including all of the people who want to be God to me for God in any way they want. They are not God to God that way. Because there are those of you who don't believe in me, because you don't believe in me is what you're threatening me with. You threaten my physical safety. You threaten my self-deceased. You threaten where I am with what is where I am, everything that moves. You threaten me with that I'm shouted, that you can hear me. That was really the point of your ears hearing being functional. You can hear me does not mean that I stop the sound. What other sounds would you like me to stop? You think I shouted and you want me to stop myself. If you had a car accident, is that how you stopped the motor of another car when it parked and everyone got out? of a car in a car accident? Is that how you wanted to stop the sound of the motor of another car? Yeah, but which car? The one that you hit. It knows and those people got out. But how did you pick that car to cause the accident and tell those exact people to get out of that exact car? That's what's wrong with you telling me not to shout and with your Halidol shot injection problem, which is deceased. But that went on for so long, 15 years of you putting shots of Halidol in me because you think you heard me shout. And you want to tell me not to shout, that it's not my money because you can hear me. You don't know what to do with your ears hearing. It is live wire the wrong way. Even the internet doesn't just play everything on the internet and you have to hear it all. There's something wrong with your ears hearing, being near something you don't afford to hear. That's your shoes you don't afford. You don't put a shot of Halidol in myself because you think you heard me shout, and you and your God are going to stop that shouted, and I'm not going to get the money that I am to myself. And I know that with myself because you put a shot of Halidol in me I didn't pay for, which must cost, I don't know, myself deceased. And who are you? Your ears hearing is due elsewhere by your shoes. You stole your shoes. You don't have your shoes money paid for. And you still think it's some shot of Halidol. Where did it even come from? Do you even know where to buy a shot of Halidol? If I go to the pharmacy at Walgreens, are they going to give me the same shot? And I can just give the shot injection to myself. What do I need your shot for? You never gave me anything else for free, like all the clothes I need. How about a key that fits a door lock like this? You give me a free shot of Halidol every time I shouted for the past 15 years inside of the hospitals when I was locked in there. And you don't give me a free key that fits into a door lock like this, and it's free to myself, and I can have it. And then, if you're not in the hospital anymore, I'm not in the hospital anymore on my own self, that I have another place to live. I don't have to be hostage to be put in a hospital because you don't want to hear me shout, but you have your shoes on. You completely don't understand the order. It's not really for you to ask me that question. I don't understand the order is not true. I'm a founder of the order. You can't correct that you don't know the founder of the order because you're so far in the wrong that you mistreat me once is not excused. You're so far in the wrong. You're 15 years so far in the wrong about the shots of Halidol. I'm deceased right here, that I can't have any pharmacy for any reason. And people are dying on the wrong point because I have a history of using a lot of pharmacy medication because of this shots of Halidol problem. I don't actually have Parkinson's disease if I am shouted. It's shouted doesn't have Parkinson's disease. Where you gave me shots of Halidol I didn't pay for. You must have given me $800,000 worth of shots of Halidol, which is not a house. I can't even take those empty syringes to a realtor and say, I want to buy a house with these empty shots of Halidol I didn't pay for. These are all the syringes. They're proof that money was stolen and you owe me a house. I don't owe you. You don't owe me anything, do you? You don't owe me anything ever, do you? You don't understand! You are so far in the wrong! Look at how all those cars are passing by. But they have mufflers. You're so strange. You tell me that I shouldn't shout because everything else is very calm and normal. Does that look calm and normal to you? All the traffic looks calm and normal to you. Take all the mufflers off all the cars and they're not normal anymore. You don't know what your problem is. All the car's motors are so loud when you take the muffler off. You don't know that God is angry that way. You don't know because he's not angry with myself that way. He's angry with you that way.